This video, I'm going to quickly walk through just Hewitt and Smith figure 13.1 that presents just some very basic economics of an externality. So in this figure, we're going to start with a simple supply and demand relationship. The demand curve is going to be equal to the marginal willingness to pay. That is the marginal benefit of each unit of the good Q to the consumers in the economy. You'll notice that I'm putting on the vertical axis dollars per unit of Q rather than price. I never really liked the term price on the vertical axis because price is, for me, an equilibrium concept, and dollars per unit of Q are the units in which price is presented. The upward sloping curve is the marginal private cost of production. So these are the opportunity costs associated with the production of this good Q, and you'll see that the equilibrium price is P0 and the equilibrium quantity is Q0. Now, of course, this leads to producer and consumer surplus, which is indicated by the green area there. What's different in this particular graph is we assume that there is an external cost. There is a cost that is borne by people who are not in this supply and demand relationship to suffer those costs, whether the good is produced, whether they have no control over whether they can suffer those costs. That is, if quantity Q0 is produced, then they are going to suffer damages equal to the area under the marginal external cost curve, equal to that red area there. And hence we can add the marginal external cost to the marginal private cost curve to obtain the marginal social cost, that is the marginal private cost plus the marginal social cost, or marginal external cost leads to marginal social cost. Hence, at the quantity Q0, the red arrow above the marginal private cost is an indication of the marginal the external costs associated with the production of the quantity Q0. Hence, at the market equilibrium, we don't get the full producer and consumer surplus. Rather, we get the green area minus the red external cost area. So our net social benefits of the production of Q0 is going to be this green area minus the red area there. We're going to call that area a welfare cost. Okay, notice that I'm not calling it deadweight loss, which is typically used to refer to costs that are associated with taxes, and this is a different concept. So the red area there is called a welfare cost. Now, can we get rid of the welfare costs? Sure, if we could somehow get the economy to move back to the production of quantity Q2 at the price P2, that would achieve that socially optimal quantity of the production Q2. However, notice that this is not an equilibrium. All right, the producers at the price P2 want to produce a heck of a lot more than Q2. They want to produce way out on their marginal private cost curve, their supply curve. So P2 and Q2 is not an equilibrium unless the government gets involved. One way that the government typically, in theory, could get involved is by imposing a tax on the good Q that's exactly equal to the external cost. So if the tax were designed just right, so that every unit of Q, the producers have to pay a tax equal to the external cost, then their supply curve would shift upward to match the marginal social cost curve, and that would lead to a socially optimal quantity. So you should be able to follow the basics of an externality should be able to understand this type of graph and reproduce it without any problem. So I hope that helps, and good luck.